Yeah, I never thought like we're going to like a wireless future, but we'll probably still need wires for a good deal of time.
The wireless wired future. That could be an entire episode.
Yeah, you don't realize how many wires you
Oh,
need
yeah.
until you work in an office setting.
Right.
And I'm currently an IT specialist, and there's there's wires going everywhere.
Right.
Every desk has tons of wires for everything, monitors, Ethernet, all that. And I'm like, we're not very close to a full wireless future.
The wireless is the consumer stuff. The business side is the wired. So to make the consumers happy and easygoing, they sell the product as this is wireless, but the only reason that works wireless is because there's wires on the back end, which is where the money comes in from the business. So, but yeah, you'd have to have wires everywhere.
Yeah, but just setting up an office and like expanding out things, it would be nice if there's like some sort of technology eventually that, gets rid of some of it, but there's not even a decent wireless display technology that I know of that's anywhere near as reliable as an HDMI cord.
Right. Yeah.
We're far away from all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, we're just breaking into the wireless charging, but even then, in my opinion, that's not wireless.
No, that's not wire. I mean,
that's very
it needs
restricted.
contact. It needs contact.
Right.
Do you use one? I have one next to my bed, and it's
Yeah.
nice. You can just set your phone on it.
Right.
But the issue I have is sometimes you don't get that perfect contact, and I'll wake up the next morning and I'm at 5% battery. Or
Yeah, we're not where it's just everywhere. Where basically your device is always charging if it's in your house, no matter where it's in. We're not at that point.
Yeah. I mean, at least you can plug it up now and get like 50% charge in like 15, 30 minutes.
But, Mike, we still need to figure out the battery scenario because the batteries are a disaster. Battery technology is still horrible.
I was actually talking to somebody earlier this week about that. How a lot of these devices, like my phone or even a lot of these laptops, because we go through a lot of laptops in my type of job, and a lot of the issues are batteries. Like the batteries go bad and the computer's perfectly fine.
Right.
And the computer would probably be perfectly fine for another 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, same with mobile devices. People think they need a new phone because it's not lasting as long.
I know, and if we could get a better battery technology in all these devices, then I feel like we could hold on to things a little bit longer. I know I never really realized how much of a use and waste society we've turned into with modern technology.
Mm-hmm.
Because even something as simple as a watch, like if you get a smartwatch, like before a watch you would buy, and you could pass it on to your grandchild, like really nice stuff. Now, if you buy a smartwatch from Apple or Google or whoever, it doesn't matter. You'll be lucky if you get 10 years out of it.
I mean, I think the software, it will stop updating at 3 to 4 years. And
that's right. So if the battery doesn't kill you, then they'll stop supporting it on the software side.
Yeah. I mean, 5 years is vintage to Apple. They physically will not bring that unit into the back of their store after 5 years. So it is all parts of that unit have been sold off to third party, and it's no longer.
That is not that long.
Right.
But I really do feel like we're at a point with hardware that, like for phones at least, where I don't really need any quicker performance. I'm not running into a bottleneck really with anything I do now.
Really?
Like in my phone's 2017 model, I think, late 2017, and it basically runs like I originally got it, and I don't notice any like stutters or slowdown really. And, I'm a stickler for that.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, I have the iPhone 8, and we're at 10, 11. So that's over 2 years. And ironically, when they announced the new iPhone, the iPhone 8 was still in the lineup. And I was like, wait a second. Why would they keep the iPhone 8 but not the 9 or 10 or whatever? And it was because of the telephoto lens in it. To get the telephoto lens, you have to go iPhone Pro, but the iPhone 8 has the exact same telephoto lens.
Okay. So it's more they're keeping it around because of the camera or the price?
Well, they would say publicly it would be the price, but if you look at the technology, you would see because it's the camera. Because if you want the telephoto lens, then the iPhone whatever 10 or whatever didn't have that, like the Max or something did. But then it was too big, or I don't know. There's all this weird stuff, but
yeah, they've kind of jumbled up their marketing. Like, it's hard to really understand the phone models anymore. I really think this generation they cleared things up a little bit. They made the less expensive model the actual iPhone, and the more expensive one the Pro model. So at least that clears things up a little bit in the customer's mind. Like, hey, I'm paying a premium for the Pro model, and
true.
The standard iPhone is the one that most people should get.
Right. Yeah. You're right.
But it's I realize just how brilliant Apple's marketing really is, though, with this generation of the iPhone, because of that new camera bump. I feel like the iPhone 6 through 8, you couldn't really tell the difference between any of those models visually.
Right.
So if you had the 7, none of your friends knew you upgraded, really. And then the iPhone 10, when that came out, that had the notch, and people could see, he has an iPhone 10 with he doesn't have a button. Well, what are they going to do to differentiate the iPhone 10 from the new one? Well, the only thing they can do to differentiate is add that camera bump on the back, and people will know you have the newest one.
Right.
And they'll envy the fact that you have the latest one. And it's obvious because it's just sticking right there in your face.
Because they're texting on it, and you're seeing them text.
Exactly. It's brilliant. It's the smartest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And this generation is I think selling way better than expectations as well.
And and those young kids put their selfies in front of mirrors so you can see the camera of the phone that they're using. And they know what they're doing.
I know. That's the first time that it just smacked me right in the face, and I saw that Apple has brilliant marketing campaigns.
Yeah.
Like, brilliant. Like, say what you want about the devices themselves, how much you like them or dislike them. They just know how to market to their demographics.
That's true. I mean, I got something for this week that I'm passionate about.
Yeah, what is it?
Samsung SmartThings.
You've been talking about that for a while.
Z-Wave and Zigbee, I think it is, Zigbee Wave system, and the communication and the devices with that, because I am slowly converting to a smart home.
I love the path you're going on. You're going down the Samsung, the smart home path. This is very interesting.
Well, I understand Apple has the security down, and I understand if I really don't want to be hacked, then I should probably deck my life out with Apple. However, the compatibility is just outrageously horrible when it comes to Apple, because nobody wants to go through the legal licensing agreements that Apple makes you do to get something on HomeKit. So HomeKit is, if anybody doesn't know, is the Apple's version of a smart hub for your iOS device.
Yeah, I think there's 4 big ones. I think there's the HomeKit, the Samsung one, Google has their own, and I think Amazon might have their own.
Yes, but even Google and Samsung are integrated together.
It's true. Amazon, Samsung, and Google, for the most part, can talk to each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I have a bunch of sensors left over. So what I have done is put them everywhere. I have them on my, doors. I have them on my lights. I have them on the underneath, like the sinks, the water leak sensors, temperature sensors, vibration sensors.
This is hilarious.
And even on the washer, just because I wanted to know how much power is being used by the washer when it's not on. And sure enough, it uses 1 watt of power.
Oh, dear.
Completely off. So
it's called the phantom power.
I have it. It is the phantom power. So I have it so when I leave the house, then the washer automatically turns off. Even though it's already off, the power outlet to the washer turns off. But yeah, I mean, I haven't got into the lights, like the smart lights, and I don't have like the vacuums and things like that. But researching that,
it's fun. It's a rabbit hole.
I know. I just, and you can do it slowly. It's one of those technologies I like where when you go buy a phone, you have to drop hundreds of dollars right away. When you want to get into this, once you get a base, which is under $100, then you can slowly buy these sensors from anywhere from $8 to a few $100. But
that's true. They get you get you early, and then they know you'll slowly build it.
And most sensors are only around the $30 to $60 range, and that's reasonable. Once a month, you buy a sensor, you do something cool with it, you set up some automations, maybe some scenes, and your life is easier.
I do love it. I do have the smart lights in the bedroom, and it's nice to like dim them down at night when you're about to go to bed. Okay.
Do you run any scenes?
No, I don't have like the color, like the lights that are capable of color or anything like that. So basically, I just talk to my Google Home Mini and tell it to dim the lights down to like 5% or 10%.
All right, so currently, I'm just going to go real quick what I got. I got a vibration sensor on my mailbox. So when the mailman opens the lid, it sends a notification to me and my wife that we've got mail.
That's great. That's a good idea.
From the movie You Got Mail. If you haven't seen that, it is free currently on Netflix.
Oh,
or no, Amazon Prime. Anyways.
Don't watch it.
It's PG. It's a great movie.
It's very outdated. People will be like, I don't know what this email.
I have a temperature sensor outside that it alerts me if it's 30 degrees and says it's freezing outside. Just because I don't want to check the weather. I want to be notified when it's literally freezing. So that goes off. And then, of course, I have it on the garage door. And I have automatic. It tells me when we're both left the house and arms the system. And it knows when we've arrived. And it says disarm system. And it'll turn lights on.
That's great.
Because I just have it through an outlet. And then my favorite scene right now is good night. And I press this one button, good night, and my fan turns on, the lights in the bedroom turn off, and my humidifier turns on to the setting I need. And the room is ready. I'm ready for sleep.
Yeah, it has streamlined a lot of processes.
I know. I can get to bed faster thanks to Samsung SmartThings. So, what's your opinion on ads, like ads on YouTube and Facebook and things?
What do you mean ads?
Do they like drive you nuts?
Well, I've been a subscriber to Google Music for probably as long as it's been around, and I don't see any ads on YouTube ever. I kind of forgot that there was ads on YouTube, and then one day I logged in and forgot I started watching YouTube without logging in. And I started getting bombarded with ads, and I'm like, this is the way the rest of society lives?
Yes, Mike.
I was very taken aback, and I'm like, I don't know how anybody watches YouTube in this manner.
Oh, it's horrible. I mute them. I mute it every time.
The old ad blocker doesn't work anymore?
I don't feel right about that.
Yeah, after being a creator yourself, you don't feel right about
it's not
blocking
right.
other
It's not
people's
right.
revenue.
Right. It's not right. But I just hit mute, and I used to have YouTube Red, but we're being very strict on our budget right now, so we don't have subscriptions, and YouTube Red is obviously a subscription. So but you're right. I get all these ads. Well, sure enough, one of these ad pops up that I thought was a joke, and I was like, "This is not real. You need to watch it, Mike. I'm going to tell you to go watch it. Everybody else,
I'll watch it.
Needs to go watch it." But I let the ad play, and I unmuted it, and I was like, all right, you know what? I'm just going to let this run. So I watched it to the end. Who watches an ad to the end?
Not me.
Does anybody know what happens at the end of an ad?
It says click here to go to the site.
So it does, and it's gotten better, but they'll actually auto play your video afterwards. Unless they want to show you another ad, they can do that too.
Yeah, they will.
If you walk away from the computer, they think, oh, we'll just keep showing ads until eventually he says,
I have had enough. I've had enough of ads.
It was this technology called Deep Sentinel.
Huh.
Okay. And it was like someone walking up to their home and another person live saying, get away because this lady was about to get robbed. And I was like, this is hilarious. Well, sure enough, I go digging because I'm like, this can't be real. And I'm tearing apart their website, looking. And when I do that, I look into their address, where they are. I find them on Google Maps. I see what's around. I see if they're legit. I go crazy. And so literally 2 hours of this, I finally got on a message with the forum of this and I was watching reviews and I was like, this is real. And the main base to this is artificial intelligence that is sitting in your home that you get with the kit. And it learns with the video camera, humans, non-humans, who is correct, who is not correct. And it's constantly learning. And I'm like, this is amazing.
That's creepy. So it knows who's in the house and what they're doing, and it'll start doing auto things for you or something?
Well, you wouldn't want it in your house. You'd mainly want it outdoor for security, is what they're marketing it as.
Oh.
Well, finally, I was talking to this guy, and I had these questions, and he said, can I just call you? And I was like, sure. So he called me.
The person who works on the site called you?
Yes.
Oh, gosh. That's great.
I know.
There must be a small operation.
They are. They're a small operation, which is sad. If you're a major company listening to us, you should fix yourself. They are a startup, and they're just being honest, and this is the product we sell. This is what we do, and we got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. Well, sure enough, one of the founding investors is Jeff Bezos.
Really?
CEO of Amazon. And they've got about 7 million into their startup. And it's ironic because Jeff Bezos owns Ring. Everybody knows what Ring is by now, I'm sure.
The doorbell company.
Right?
Yeah,
exactly. So that's owned by Jeff. So why he would invest in basically a competitor, other than, hey, here's some money. If you guys work, I'm gonna buy you out anyways.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Sounds about right.
But Mike, it is just amazing, and then my whole spiel on this is the ad worked. I didn't buy the product, but I want to.
But the ad actually worked. So if they know how to target it right, I believe ads do work, and I've seen that myself as well. But I just feel like the ad targeting has just become next level lately.
Okay, so when are ads going to be better or good enough that when you buy the product, you no longer see an ad for it?
I don't know. That's what I'd like to know, because I will buy a product and then get an ad for that product the next day.
Right.
Like they don't understand that I bought the product.
Right. I own this. Can I upload my receipt to you to prove it so you stop doing this to me?
Yeah.
Oh, Mike, I got a new concept.
Okay, yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
A grocery store with no price tags.
How would you know how much anything costs?
They guarantee you it's the lowest price, and they'll match any price. You have your phone to scan the product if you really want to know. And you can get coupons automatically on your phone, but they guarantee that product is the lowest price no matter what.
Yeah, but you kind of want the price tags there because you want to compare. Like what I always do is, because there's always like tons of brands of this and that, tons of brands. I always have to go through and see, okay, this is the price per ounce, and I'm getting the best price per ounce or price per like item that I can.
Nope.
How would you find that out? Because if you don't know the price, you'd be like, okay, I guess this GIF or this other thing.
I just wondered if you made a beta store, because millennials are crazy. I bet it would work. I bet people would walk in, not give a care about, they would load up their cart, they'd be in and out, and they would save so much time because they wouldn't have to look at prices. They would just know, I'm going in, I'm getting what I need, and it's going to be the best price, so I don't even care.
Yeah, people kind of treat Amazon that way. Like they just expect that Amazon always has the best prices and don't look around.
See?
Yeah, so people already kind of do that.
Right. So imagine walking into a store and there is no price tags anywhere. Now, you could always use your phone, and the phone would always be updated and downloading coupons for you automatically, applying them automatically, discounts however it could. And it would even maybe use AI to talk to other stores and show you the price at other stores and say, well, at the register, we'll beat this price. Here's how it is on, like, Best Buy, Amazon, whatnot. Like when you go to Best Buy and you buy a product, and they'll match Amazon, but you have to show them the Amazon ad. Well, what if inside of the Best Buy app, or even on their end, on their computer screen, it showed the prices automatically of the product that they just scanned, and it applied a discount automatically?
Because that will cut into profits, and they don't want to give you that discount unless you ask for it.
Well, then to save on profits, you don't have to update your prices and run around putting price tags anywhere or anything. It's just the product in all of its glory, and there it is, and you come in and buy it, and then you leave.
I 100% agree that would save on like signage and labor to put up the signage, but there's ways around that. Like Kroger is launching like the digital signage now, where the price of the product is digitally changed, so they don't have to put in the new stickers and the new price tags. Kohl's, if you go to Kohl's, all their signs are digital, so they will change automatically, I guess, via their network, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I've been to Kohl's.
I think it's a great idea, and I really think more stores should do the digital signage, because I used to work, and you work in retail kind of now, but I used to work in retail, and I remember that was the biggest pain was ripping out the old stickers and putting up the new stickers for the price tags.
Well, yeah, but the only issue I have with the digital one is the color. Subconsciously, you're drawn to the colors white and yellow together, and so when you're in a store, if you're not seeing white and yellow together, you're not going to be drawn to that price. And if it's digital, you don't naturally look at that price tag.
Well, the new signage they have at the Krogers near us, it's like a little video screen, an animated video screen that has the prices on it, and it's like eye-catching, like it's trying to like really catch your eye. So, so you look right at it. It's not like not like the Kohl's.
It's not like Kohl's.
No, the Kohl's ones are terrible. I think they're just e-ink displays or whatever. And yeah, they're not eye-catching at all. I think Kohl's probably needs to update theirs to like at least color screens or something like that. But your concept has some interesting ideas, because like you said, you could just scan the item with your phone and see the price.
Right.
Might be a little bit cumbersome if you're constantly having to do that for a lot of things, though. But like you said, maybe this is for the person who just wants to quickly get in and get out and not have to think.
Right, that's the point.
But I feel like that person that you're talking about would just sign up for the online pickup service.
Well, yes, I'm just, yeah, obviously I'm embedded in retail, so now my thoughts are going to be very skewed. But I obviously want to think about what the next generation is going to want. And as ease of life as millennials are moving markets to, the ease of life is going to be compounded on their children. So they're, instead of like when we're growing up, we're like, we already went through the quote, the hard time of retail, right? Retail apocalypse and all this. And the kids nowadays don't know this. So when whatever the future of shopping is in the future, because everybody shops. So everybody listening to this shops in some form, some way for stuff to live. If nothing else, you at least buy something to live. So you cannot void yourself out of this conversation.
No.
But what will the future of that look like? And we know, obviously, the internet has completely moved the entire needle on this. And now the next generation isn't going to feel that move of the needle. They're already going to be where the needle is. So they're going to move the needle somewhere else. So what is something that they want? And I just think that when you walk into a store, you go buy the product and you walk out. Like, you don't ever think about all this other stuff and comparison and scanning. Like, you just think about those grocery carts now. You've seen them. They got the automatic weights in them, the scales in them, and they have the cameras on them, and they know how much you're putting into the cart. So you can just get in, throw your stuff in the cart, and you don't even have to talk to anybody, and you walk out.
I honestly think there's going to be a lot of approaches tested out, and I'm kind of curious what's going to win out.
That's good.
I kind of think that Amazon's approach is probably going to win out the most because people don't want to leave their house anymore.
Do they, though?
Well, I feel like people don't want to leave their house for certain things. So I think Amazon's approach works for like stuff you don't really care about shopping for. So like I don't really care about going to the store and shopping for groceries. That's not interesting or exciting or fun. But I still want to go to the store and check out like, some cool furniture for the house. And, you can look it on the line, but online, only so much you can see online. I want to actually go in and look at, cool furniture or design stuff or, even technological stuff like, the newest TV or like a smartwatch or something like that. I kind of want to see it in person. But I think even some of those things are not necessary anymore. So like, for instance, like tech, a lot of people just go to like YouTube and watch a video about the item they're going to purchase. And that's enough for them as far as tech goes. So I think clothing and furniture and like home decor stuff, that's all. There's always going to be stores for that because you just want to go out and look and see what different stores offer and whatever's trendy at the time. You want to see that stuff. And shoes as well. Like, you don't want to buy shoes online. I mean, some people do, but
right. Well, speaking of that, I was thinking of clothing like you're talking about. And, our population is exponentially higher than it was 100 years ago. And these companies are creating these products. And I'm getting, I'm wearing a shirt right now that's featured on like a McDonald's commercial. I took a picture of it. I think I sent
it. Yeah, you sent it to the group chat.
Okay. Well, sure enough, I was watching a video, a YouTube video with my wife, and sure enough, a different shirt that I own was on that video. And then at the park, I saw a guy walking with a totally different shirt. 3 shirts now, Mike. 3 shirts that I own are either in public or on TV. And I got thinking,
where are you
about
shopping
this,
at?
I was like, well, right. 1, where am I shopping at? But two, are the companies being less creative and pushing out massive product to keep up with the demand and not being as creative and unique because they know they're just going to sell? And for those of you listening, if you don't know, I've lived in like 7 different states. I'm always moving. So I've never been longer than like 2 years somewhere. So it's not that like, oh, it's just because of where I live. No. I've only been in Kansas for 2 months. So, all right. So with that, are companies just producing large quantities of the same product and not really changing the rendition of it when it comes to clothing?
I almost feel like there's less and less companies to choose from.
Oh,
sort of.
That's a good point.
Like as a lot of these retail stores are starting to go out, and
yeah, you're right.
And I feel like a lot of these suppliers are going to China for their clothing, and I bet you a lot of the clothing manufacturers like choose a lot of the same like factories to make their clothes.
Yeah,
but I'm not positive. I don't know, but I do feel like that a lot of these like Target and stuff like that, they copy other brands and make it cheaper.
Oh yeah, Walmart does that for sure.
So like,
or they just buy the company.
or they just buy the company. And I feel like Walmart didn't have anything hip when I was younger. So I think maybe it's just a lot of these companies are getting smarter, and they're starting to sell more hip clothing. And you can get something stylish at like a Walmart or a Target now. Well, I mean, you could always get something decently stylish at Target, but maybe it's something along those lines.
Well, then in that side of it, from that point, how come you can tell when a guy has money when he's wearing those clothes that are just like, you just know that's an expensive outfit?
Because I feel like the thread count and like the fabric quality, you just tell when something is made a little bit nicer than something else.
Yeah. So I have a shirt that somebody gave me from, I think the company is Zara, which Zara or something. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I've never seen anybody wear this shirt or anything like this shirt, but it's not American. And I guess they're a high-end company, and somebody just gave it to me. But when I wear that shirt, I know that like, oh, this is not a normal shirt that people wear in public. And I'm wondering, our society the next generation is going to want that. They're not going to want to ever see their own shirt on TV. It's cool now because of social media, but they're going to be born into social media, and they're going to want to be 100% unique.
You think so? I feel like a lot of people, how society has always been, a lot of people just glom onto whoever's most popular, and they dress like that person.
Well, yeah. I agree. I'm not talking about famous people. That's different. That's a whole different marketing. That's niche in a way, sort of. Because you can buy clothes on Apple TV now.
Really?
Like, yeah, if you're watching an Apple TV, like an episode.
Oh, kind of like how IKEA, if you go to IKEA, it'll say this paint on the walls from this company and this shape.
Exactly. You can do that digitally, and you can be like, oh, what is she wearing? And then you can buy that.
Okay.
That's a little different because those people got money. But I'm talking about for the masses of society, they want to be what's trendy, but is their trendy what their cousin's wearing in another state over? How do they get the uniqueness?
I think I don't know. You have to find like what's unique to you, and then you think it's unique, and then until you see somebody else wear it. Like I always feel like I found a shirt that's pretty unique, and then I'll run into another person like a couple months later that's wearing the same shirt as me. I'm like, man, that shirt, I don't like that shirt at all. Like, why am I wearing this shirt? And I'm like, is it because he looks terrible in this shirt, or is this shirt just really that bad?
That's true. That's very true. That's like kids' names. Kids' names are the same way. You can see where packets of kids' names were created where you think your kid is like, oh, I got a really unique name. Nobody else is going to have this name. And then like they get older and they're like, there's like 3 kids in their class with that name, and you're like, how did that happen? It's like,
yeah, the only way to be truly unique is to basically go on to like get somebody to make like, go to a factory and get them to make a specific design exactly for you, because you might think you're getting something unique, but it's somebody else has it.
Yep, you're right,
and nobody's gonna have the money to do that. Like, money is limited, and I don't know it. But yeah, people are definitely. It seems like kids want to differentiate themselves from, like, try to be unique as possible. But then other kids start following their trend, and then it's not unique anymore. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
That's kind of all I have for today.
Yeah, man, we covered a lot of topics.
Yeah, probably we haven't talked in a while, and I feel like we did skew more towards tech and kind of like society and products. So, that's probably where we're going to stay in a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Should we just keep Future Jam, or should we go Jamtastic?
Oh, for the name change?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't care.
You don't care.
That's whatever.
Well, I mean, if we're talking tech most of the time anyways, we just keep Future Jam.
But you created a cool name.
You like Jamtastic?
Yeah.
It is kind of interesting.
It's very interesting. I'd click on it.
All right, yeah. We could just swap it over to Jamtastic so we don't feel bogged down by our past.
That's true. Because I've got a doozy of a past.
You want a fresh start sometimes, and sometimes it's good to get a fresh start. And
I'm getting it all right.
I'll just say this now. We're gonna run with Jamtastic for this experimental podcast, and yeah, we'll just run with it for now, and we'll see what the feedback is.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. All right.